Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And we're going to be diving into a little something that the Critical Drinker, which I'll copy and paste his link to his original video, so go check him out. He's he's a pretty good movie reviewer and whatnot. Also very funny. And he's also from the UK. From in the UK, sorry. So what he's going to be talking about is the new, as you will know, the whole Star Wars debacle that has been happening. And as you all know, we how shitty Star Wars has become and whatnot, regardless of the shows. I'm not a fan of the Acolyte. I think that freaking show is trash because they did the lore wrong. They did Darth Plagueis wrong. The timeline is weird, and all this other crap, and yada yada yada. I mean, we can go on, but I'm not gonna go into deep with all that stuff or whatever. But anyways, what I wanted to just dive into this. As you probably already know, that it's been already floating around, is that Kathleen Kennedy is her reign of terror is over, so to speak. However, there's been so many headlines over the past that that constantly have been saying that, and it's obviously almost not as true as we would like it to be and whatnot. But apparently, this recent development, it might take it with a grain of salt, because it might just flourish into a different era. So who knows, she may be replaced with a far more younger and more powerful, I don't know. But anyways, let's see what Critical Drinker has to say about this. And like I said, guys, I will leave his original video in the description. Please go check him out, show him some love, and let's dive into this. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Well, it finally happened. After years of rumour and speculation, false claims, deception and ejaculation, it seems that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. I know, we've heard this same thing 100 times over from every clickbait algorithm-chasing rumour merchant on YouTube, but in this case, it looks like it's actually legit. All the major trades are reporting the same thing. She's decided to step down when her contract expires at the end of this year. She hasn't been fired, she's not leaving in disgrace, and she hasn't been forced out by some internal coup.
Yeah, because she hasn't been, dishonorably discharged. I mean, sorry.
She's going out as we all knew she would, when she was damn well good and ready, probably to a shower of lifetime achievement.
I think the only good thing that came out of her era was Andor, the Rogue One, and Mandalorian. But, that can be, well, the only thing is that probably the Mandalorian wasn't necessarily, under, how you say it, her supervision, I guess, or whatnot. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, I think, the Mandalorian was like its own entity and whatnot. However, with the new movie coming out and whatnot, it doesn't necessarily show that it's promising either and whatnot. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until that comes out.
Awards, meaningless accolades, and fake praise from the shill media, not to mention the golden handshake to end all golden handshakes, but leaving she golden is. Handshakes. This, dear viewer, is...
what's also freaking shitty about this is that we've already lost, like, how many... We lost Carrie Fisher. What's his name that played Chewbacca? Fuck, I forgot. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't think I can pronounce it at the moment and whatnot. But I believe you know who I'm talking about anyway. The costume actor that played Chewbacca and whatnot, we lost him as well. And you know, the Disney Star Wars era did them extremely dirty. It doesn't necessarily give a good taste, and since like now they're gone, unfortunately, it does a very disservice to their characters that they played. And what's worse is whatnot is that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, is now going about saying that Luke is gay and yada 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 and blah 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 blah. And I don't know. I mean, this might be a hot take or might sound screwed up and whatnot, but I think he probably needs to be put in a home because he just can't stop, dude. Like, what the heck? I don't know what he's rambling about. He's now like, the stereotypical old person yelling at freaking kids to get off his lawn and stuff. Like, I think it's a Section 8, really.
Is it? The Kennedy era of Star Wars is at.
Like, honestly, well, how freaking deranged or freaking crazy do you have to freaking be to just freaking start saying that, ooh, Luke Skywalker is this or blah, 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 and whatnot? Like, that's not what everyone remembers Skywalker was and whatnot. And in the EU, that he married Mara Jade, and they had children together and whatnot. Which and the Star Wars expanded universe has much better, more fleshed out content than what fucking Disney is freaking trying to churn out and whatnot.
An end. And wow,
I don't that's another thing. Also, I don't understand how these franchises get set up for new movies or remakes or whatever and whatnot, and then the writers come in and think that they can write a better one when the original was already fine. Like, it didn't need to be restructured or anything like that and whatnot. It's a freaking, I don't know. I don't know. There's something going up in that freaking loony brains that these freaking namby-pambies are trying to push out and whatnot. And it's not good. It's freaking crap shit.
What an era it's been. Tell me, what was your favourite aspect of her tenure? Was it her stunning and brave decision to relaunch a multi-billion-dollar franchise with a trilogy of movies that had no particular plan or creative roadmap? Was it her
that's what I think that was also like the nail on the coffin also, is that when the final movie came out and whatnot, and even I was on board with this, is that somehow the final movie is gonna like fix up everything and tie everything together and like just be this grandiose finale, right? Excuse me. But of course we got what we got with that movie, the Rise of Skywalker and whatnot, and how that freaking ended and whatnot. Rey basically calling herself a Skywalker and whatnot, which totally disingenuous. It's so disingenuous and whatnot, and so freaking crappy, and a shitty move to freaking pull off. It's like what the hell were they thinking, or what the hell were they smoking and whatnot? I don't know what right mind person thought that was going to be a good idea whatsoever. It's just freaking crap, man. And yeah, like I almost forgot my point, but like that was also like a contributing factor to the latest the latest trilogy and whatnot, is that it hardly had any planning. It had almost no planning, and it was just a huge colossal mess and whatnot. And they were just trying to freaking just like wing it and roll the dice and hope for the best and whatnot, and think that was gonna do any savior complex that would like that it would just somehow present itself or whatever.
Savvy move of hiring an arrogant, pretentious wannabe auteur with zero respect.
Yeah, and freaking this motherfucker here and whatnot had to like almost not necessarily say put the nail in the coffin and whatnot, but he had to just like, pretty much dig the hole in order to put the grave in.
Respect or understanding of the franchise, and then giving him a creative blank check to write the middle entry of a trilogy where he ended up killing off most of the major storylines and characters.
Yeah.
Looking back, would you change anything in your script, or do you stand by all your choices?
Nope, stand by every
stand by.
choice.
Yeah.
Stand by every choice. Stand by every choice.
Maybe it was the way she wisely failed to properly manage her writers and directors, hiring people who were totally unsuited to the task at hand, and
Yeah.
leading to costly replacements midway through
that's another thing,
production. Was it her inspired choice to scrap the hugely popular expanded universe that had
Yeah, and yeah, there that's another thing that a lot of freaking, other, Star Wars fans that have dived into this and be like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Like, there's so many books that you could have had as, like as a manual script and whatnot to use, and you just didn't do it. You just fucking just like, freaking burn it all. Burn it all.
had been slowly built up over decades, only to realise later that her functionally retarded story group wasn't able to come up with any good ideas of their own, forcing them to steal characters and storylines from the very media that they erased from canon. Was it the way she bravely presided over a 50% drop in revenue over the course of the sequel trilogy, not to mention the first
as people, Force Awakens, kind of just like open the, it opened the whole thing and whatnot. Excuse me. I'm a little surprised that that Rogue One, didn't well, as much as I enjoyed it, it's freaking a bit crazy that that movie didn't do as good as I thought it would. It did better than Solo though, because I went to go see Solo and holy shit, dude, all I saw was 2 people in there and whatnot. And when I finished watching it, I was like, what the hell did I just watch, dude? I could probably sit in a doctor's office watching him do surgery for your brain surgery, and that would probably be more entertaining and whatnot. Freaking watching Solo freaking made my brain rot and whatnot. I swear to God, I felt like I lost brain matter for a brief second. I think I know what it was like to have dementia or Alzheimer's. Bad joke, I know, but fucking that's just like my freaking take on it. Sorry, but yeah, dude, like fucking A, like I don't know who honestly freaking wanted to phone that one and think that was a good thing to freaking put on the silver screen and whatnot. If they were gonna do it, they should have done it right though. But that one was just like, I don't know, a freaking colossal fuck. It I think there was a video that out there that said that Solo pretty much reiterated that he was not the greatest pilot and whatnot, and time and time again we see in the movie that's what happens, and when he freaking fucks up on a freaking colossal level when it comes to freaking piloting and just can't get it right and whatnot. It wasn't until that when Lando Calrissian's droid gets integrated into the ship and then becomes the ship and whatnot. So, actually, you know what? I think actually Drinker was the one that, I think Critical Drinker was the one that actually freaking talked about it. Yeah, that the ship, the droid, I forgot what the name of the droid. See, I don't even fucking remember the droid, the character, the droid of Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian had a protocol droid who he had then hooked up into the ship because she got badly damaged during a battle, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever, she gets freaking manhandled and whatnot, and she's like malfunctioning and is like about to decay and wither. But Lando Calrissian plugs her into the ship and then becomes a ship. So all her AI gets into there and whatnot. And so now that the droid the AI gets into the ship and whatnot, is now a part of the ship and is now able to control and that one scene in Empire Strikes Back where they're trying to repair the ship and whatnot, and C-3PO says to Han Solo that you need to replace the power company and blah 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 or whatever. And Solo was all like, of course I have to replace it, and yeah, that scene now makes sense because of Solo, because the droid becomes the damn Millennium Falcon and whatnot, and that's why in the throughout that the first trilogy in a sense and whatnot is while everyone is saying oh, the ship says this, the ship is saying that, and Han is saying okay, yeah, I know that's what the ship is, blah 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 blah. Because ultimately the freaking protocol droid that Lando Calrissian at the time during the storyline of Solo here, ties into why the ship is the way it is and whatnot, and also iterates that Han Solo doesn't necessarily control or pilot the ship as well as he thinks that he, or people say that he does, or the movies portray and whatnot. And so that part that Han Solo being a freaking excellent pilot gets freaking cut out and whatnot, and we're just left with Solo basically having a handicap. Essentially, that's what it is. That's what the freaking the Solo story freaking is iterating and whatnot.
Outright box office flop in Star Wars movie history? Perhaps it was the endless stream of speculative new film and TV projects that were announced way too early in development.
Okay, the big one for me here was this Knights of the Republic remake and whatnot, and then this one over here, Star Wars Eclipse. I saw the trailer for that one and I thought, potential, yes, I think I like it. Now that that's been scrubbed and is going to be, following, I don't know what kind of path, but you can pretty much, I guess, write this one off, dude. Fucking A, that. Look at all this shit. Dawn of the Jedi, blah 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 blah. Some of these some of them sound okay, or some of them is okay. My thing is that the animated stuff, I think it needs to stop. Okay, it just honestly needs to stop, just because I just can't freaking with animated shit anymore and whatnot. We already have enough animated crap out there and whatnot. I don't think we need any more. I want to see the live action stuff and whatnot, but can't even. Star Wars Outlaws 100, man. I don't know how almost most of this is even gonna, I don't know how they're gonna pull all this crap and whatnot. How they're gonna pull it off and whatnot, especially that that Kathleen Kennedy's reign still isn't necessarily over and whatnot. Like the drinker said, to the end of the year.
Development with no real plan, structure, or connection to reality, only to go nowhere and ultimately get cancelled. Maybe you appreciated the inspired.
Yeah, see, stuff that get cancelled or in, how do you say, on hold indefinitely or something.
Wait, she brought back a 900-year-old Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones one more time, yet again falling back on the tried and tested formula of making a once iconic straight white male hero into a sad, pathetic old man who's given up on life and has to be shown the correct way by a smart.
Yeah, and that's also the way they did Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi too. Became a cynical old man and blah 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 blah, and just is broken and just doesn't want anything to do with the world anymore and whatnot, which is a bit out of his character and whatnot. And I don't know what's with these writers that that are, how do I say, within a franchise, take part of after so many years and whatnot, and only to meet them in today and in present day, so to speak, to see them just wither and become cynical and not the person that they once were anymore.
Sassy, spirited young woman who's better than him at everything. Or maybe you were truly impressed by Willow, a TV show so disastrously, embarrassingly awful that Disney actually chose to scrub it from their streaming service and take the tax write-off rather than allow it to continue existing.
Yeah, I also saw that, and when like the drinker said that they scrubbed it from its streaming service, was like, you could do that for this one, but you couldn't have done it for Han Solo or whatever. But I guess it's probably like the money thing or whatever the hell. But holy fucking shit, dude, that show was.
Or maybe it was her big brain decision to bombard the audience with a withering barrage of invincible, stoic, all-conquering, self-insertion girl bosses shoved into absolutely everything that were so functionally identical they felt like they came off an assembly line, turning a well-known boys brand that everyone could enjoy into a prickly, preachy, pandering girl brand that nobody could enjoy. Yeah, honestly, there's so many achievements to pick from, it's hard to even know where to begin.
Or even call them
they say in business that people rise to their level of incompetence, and I think old Kathy here is living proof of that theory. A woman of modest talents but massive ego and ambition, who was able to ride the coattails of industry titans like Spielberg, Lucas and Marshall with a series of not particularly demanding producer gigs, and basically inherited the role of Lucasfilm president from an aging George Lucas almost by default. And this truly is where she came unstuck at last. Lacking
also what's a little, how do I say, disappointing. There at the time when Force Awakens was about to drop and whatnot, there was a meme floating around. I don't know if y'all ever seen it and whatnot, but essentially it was movie pictures from the scene in the beginning of the Force Awakens and when Kylo Ren is like standing around with the stormtroopers and whatnot, and I think there was like three or four comic strips probably or whatever in the meme and whatnot, and it basically said that like, okay, Marvel and DC, y'all had your fun, it's time for the big boys to play and whatnot. And when I saw that meme at the time, I was like, oh yeah, it's coming now, the freaking Titans are finally here, but that was then and whatnot, and the Force Awakens, okay. But after everything else that came out, the last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, my opinion started to sway, and I'm like, am I just living in La La Land and thinking that this is actually awesome and whatnot? It's like, after I started watching the movie over and over again and whatnot, I just kept thinking that like how freaking crap and just how soulless those last two movies were and whatnot. And I get it that freaking The Force Awakens is a cop out of from episode 1 to episode 4 and whatnot, which is understandable and whatnot, but that there was anything wrong with it or whatever. But at this point, it's become a double-edged sword to think that that this one is any different or anything like that, I guess. Damn, I can't necessarily put it into terms to, I don't know the correct words, or that I'm trying to iterate here, but the prequels, from episode 1, Anakin destroys the droid control ship. Episode 4, Luke Skywalker destroys the Death Star. Blah blah blah. Copy paste, right? But it just gets bigger. And now Poe destroys the Star Killer base and whatnot, planet size, planet destroyer, whatever. at this point now it starts to become repetitive. You know, it starts to become repetitive in a way, or not even like, yeah, okay, yeah, that it'll be valid that it becomes repetitive, but it I think it doesn't necessarily add. I don't think it adds too much. No more, no less. You know, I guess it's not good. It's not bad. Yeah, there you go. That kind of thing, right? And granted, like, you know, there's a freaking side that like it, which is, you know, fine, or you know, the freaking like the Disney Star Wars and whatnot. But you're not the majority though, and whatnot. And everyone at this point now has finally wised up to it, or whatever. And you know, it's fucking a bit soul crushing when, like, you know, something you freaking love and someone comes along and just like says that they're gonna save it, revise it, and blah 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 blah, and like, you know, rejuvenate it, right? Like drop it in the fountain of youth and like see if it makes it any better or whatnot. It sounds good on paper, but it honestly isn't and whatnot. You know, that freaking one that one that one episode on South Park where Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are like, you know, doing Indiana Jones dirty, right? Okay, I'm not gonna say it, okay, for obvious reasons, okay, because YouTube, okay. And that's what, and I think it was like a pretty good metaphor what South Park was saying when you know, they did that. So essentially, that's what Kathleen Kennedy did for the Star Wars Disney era and whatnot. That's what pretty much happened.
The
here.
creative vision, the imagination, the leadership ability, or the organizational skills to properly manage a studio like Lucasfilm, she instead commissioned projects left, right, and center, headed by whoever happened to be flavor of the month in Hollywood at the time.
Yeah, I think that was also another thing that forgot. I think it was Star Wars Theory. That said that yeah, she was going left and right, and just like, you know, just trying to do as much as she can to, you know, land it in, basically put it in a cookie jar. And like once you know, all these names here on the screen that you see here, once we freaking find them and get them down cookie jar, so to speak, then we can finally, you know, reach in, pull it out, and then we're gonna start, you know, production, blah 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 blah, and so on and so on. But the thing is that, like, when you do that and you have too much to handle and so many, you know, fires to freaking put out, and to try to, like, you know, get everything on all these shows here onto the silver screen and whatnot and stuff, you're almost trying to bite too much that you can necessarily handle and whatnot. And on top of that, not necessarily also have like a plan in hand, like how Marvel did from, what was it, phase 1 till phase 4, right? Where Endgame and whatnot. Like, if they had done it like that, that'd be something, you know, and whatnot. But unfortunately for Marvel, everything after Endgame is just fucking, sorry, it's just trash. I don't fucking even like Marvel or DC anymore at this point. They keep, they're doing their own, you know, little freaking thing and whatnot, and it's not working. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, it's not working. It's not. They're not hitting as they used to, and I think that's it. You know, I don't, if they had any, you know, if they have any concern or any actual drive to try to get back how it used to be, like since during like Endgame and Infinity War levels and whatnot, I don't think they're going to be able to freaking recopy that kind of momentum. I think it's pretty much gone. And I forgot who necessarily said that, you know, that said that superhero movies are gonna end up being like the spaghetti westerns, forgotten and whatnot. I think it's already happened.
With no real understanding.
I don't see a lot of people going to the Marvel movies as much as they used to. I don't see, especially like on my friends' Facebook list and whatnot, where from when everyone that went to go see Iron Man to see Endgame, everything in between, I freaking seen all my friends post pictures of them going over there with their families and with their kids, etc. and whatnot. I don't see that happening anymore. I just don't, unless you're just like, you know, that person that's which I get, you know, your kids, they want to see it and whatnot because they're kids and whatnot, and kids are just gonna like grab on into anything that has, you know, the name on it, and without necessarily realizing, you know, to understand that the movie is like, you know, crap because they haven't fully developed into an adult yet or whatever, you know. But that's a separate issue or whatever. But that's the thing, is that, you know, it's marketed towards you know, towards the kids, obviously, okay. But of course, if you want to market it to a broader audience and such, then, you know, you have to key in factors where, you know, where everyone can enjoy it, right? Not just kids. And for, you know, the toy lineups and stuff.
And in our thought for how they'd fit together into a larger franchise with no.
I know it's probably like a more, how do you say, a more complex kind of topic and whatnot, you know. And, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm probably I'm probably wrong anyway and whatnot, but like, yeah, you know, it's okay, but like, you know, I'm just saying, you know, in spectrums, you know, that's the reason why, you know, Marvel was doing good during phase 1 to phase 4 and whatnot. It was appealing to a broad audience and whatnot without, you know, sacrificing too much to pander to how do you say, without being to, you know, with how the way the political climate is, or how PC everything is starting to be, you know, like that kind of thing, in order to send a message.
Particular creative drive of her own, she allowed most of these projects to meander aimlessly, letting creatives do whatever they wanted, even if it was detrimental to the franchise, and only stepping in when things spiraled out of control and it was already too late. She didn't particularly understand Star Wars or Indiana Jones or even Willow, and probably didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, I probably can agree with that, and because if she did, you know, the opposite would have happened. Everyone would be on her, everybody would be on their feet, or, you know, kissing her fucking ass and whatnot and licking her toes. Okay, right? Let's just be real. If that was the case, if it had gone in the opposite way, that's what would have happened and whatnot. But what's everyone doing right now? They want her out. They want her freaking booted off and whatnot, and get rid of. Freaking Order 66 her, basically.
Any of them. All she really wanted was to put her stamp on them, to reshape them into her image. And well, she definitely did that.
Oh,
Probably
yeah,
not
sure
in the way
she
she'd intended, but it won't be forgotten easily, that's for sure.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
some kind of all-consuming pop culture tornado, she rampaged through the world of entertainment, leaving a trail of broken and destroyed IPs in her wake. In a way, she became the public face of everything that people have grown to hate about modern filmmaking. The shameless strip mining of old franchises with lame cash grab sequels and creatively bankrupt spin-offs. The mean-spirited emasculation of aging male heroes and their replacement with abrasive, unlikable.
Yeah, that's another thing that a lot of these today modern movies can do and whatnot, is the female energy. It's it feels very disingenuine. It's like not on the levels of Sigourney Weaver, or of Ripley or Sarah Connor ish and whatnot. And I know that, like, you know, those are prime examples that get tossed around a lot and whatnot, but like there's not necessarily anything. I genuinely believe that people believe that there's nothing wrong with strong women. You can have a strong woman, but once they become, you know, the freaking copy of a fucking feminist activist and whatnot, then it becomes a problem. And nobody wants to be fucking lectured or preached in a freaking movie and whatnot. Yes, you can have a message, but it has to be, you know, nuanced. Something like that. You can't necessarily freaking hit too close to home and whatnot. Like if you want to hit home, you got to do it subtle. You got to be subtle and whatnot. Otherwise, you're just doing it in the way where it's like it's in everybody's face, and you're gonna make the audience feel stupid and blah blah blah. And like generally audiences, I don't think they're stupid. Honestly, I genuinely think they aren't. Sometimes, maybe sometimes, but I want to say maybe 80% of the time, they ain't.
Girl bossies.
Because they want to be entertained. They don't want to be fucking lectured, dude. All right.
The indulgent excesses of divisive identity politics and fan baiting, and the hiring of people based on what diversity boxes they tick instead of what.
Yeah, gay this, trans that, blah, 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 blah. Dude, everyone's fucking sick and tired of it, okay? No one really gives a fuck. That's not to say that, like, they hate people who are like this and whatnot. No, that's not the thing. It's just that it's not the normal people story or whatever you want. It's not everyday life, though, okay? Not the freaking earth is like populated by I don't know how many billion trillions of people and whatnot. Out of all those people out there, you're only 0.00 some percent of people that are like the alphabet people and whatnot. And I hate to say it, the alphabet people don't run shit, okay? You just don't. And no, we're not gonna persecute you or whatever, even though you think so. It's just that no. You're doing too much. You're pretty much being like that annoying kid in the back of the class that doesn't shut the hell up and stop being annoying, and then needs to get a referral and sent to the office because you can't control your damn self and whatnot. Like, holy fucking shit, dude. Like, if you want to do something and put it on the silver screen, then do it yourself. And I don't know, freaking have a go at it. But no, you will not rebrand already established franchise for your own political bullshit and whatnot. No, freaking do your own thing. Find your own, make your own brand. Find your own market. Find your own brand.
Actual skills they have. And what really pissed people off the most was her absolute refusal to accept any kind of responsibility for a growing list of failures. Any other studio head would have been shown the door at least 5 years ago after Solo bombed at the box office, but for some reason Kennedy just seemed impervious to criticism. No matter how many times she fucked up, no matter how many franchises she ruined or how much money she flushed down the shitter, not once was she ever rebuked or demoted, and she absolutely refused to acknowledge that anything might be wrong. She just carried on smiling and showing up to premieres, acting like everything was going
like
just
happened.
great. Couldn't possibly have her take responsibility for her own fuck-ups, could we?
Nope,
Jesus, and they talk about the male ego. But
yeah, freaking yeah, that's also a separate issue, but that's also a very prevalent one too, is that female egos, if it'll do whatever it can to fucking defend itself,
you can only ignore time and reality for so.
Women egos are so whack and so out of especially activists or whatever like this or whatever, that their egos are so whacked and so out of place that it's going to do anything it can to protect itself and whatnot.
So long. And now that she's 72 years old and basically run out of things to ruin, I guess it was time for her to call it a day. And when she walks out that door at Lucasfilm for the last time, I'm sure she'll be showered with all the praise and awards that Hollywood can bestow on her. She'll have endless bootlicking articles gushing about how she broke glass ceilings and blazed a trail for female producers everywhere, and probably a best-selling autobiography about her incredible career accomplishments. But none of that is going to change the fact that she ran not one but 3 different IPs into the ground with her unique combination of absolute incompetence, boneheaded stupidity, and ego-driven vanity, losing billions of dollars in revenue and turning icons of pop culture into embarrassing, lame failures. And the real question now is, what happens next? Who's going to be given the monumental task of trying to unfuck 10 years of Kathleen Kennedy mismanagement? Well, it ain't going to be Dave Filoni, that's for
No. Do not bring him back. He's also part of the problem.
sure. That guy showed us exactly what he was capable of when he was put in charge of Ahsoka, and as it turns out, it wasn't much.
Yeah, it was crap, dude. Freaking say what you want, but no. Freaking having Anakin come back and just like, you know, just standing there and say all these freaking meaningless lines and whatnot that are honestly have no substance, no freaking soul or anything like that. No, it's just like, no, it's freaking crap, dude. You have Anakin just stand there looking all intensely and be like, incorrect, or whatever the fuck. Like, dude, that's nothing to be proud of and whatnot. I don't freaking see people going around quoting or rewatching freaking Ahsoka as much as, you know, people claim to say and whatnot. And, you know, the whole fucking, you know, him coming in out of the smoke and, like, you know, flashback into Vader or whatever the fuck. I think, yeah, freaking, if you've seen, like, you know, some of the reaction videos out there that, you know, reacted to that scene on that episode and whatnot, I freaking see that how, I don't know how these reactors freaking honestly think that any of that was cool or whatever and whatnot. Like, dude, no, it honestly is very soulless, and they could have done so much better and whatnot. I mean, seriously, Anakin just come out of the smoke and just, like, you know, flashes in and out of freaking Darth Vader and whatnot. Dude, no, that's fucking, it's weird. It's weird. It's not even subtle and whatnot. It would have been better maybe for him to have come out of the smoke as Vader and not in Anakin anymore and whatnot. But, you know, I don't know. That's just me. I think they could have done better than whatever the fuck they gave us currently.
There's no point getting rid of an idiot if you're just going to replace them with a retard. And the thing is, even with Kennedy gone, her influence at Lucasfilm's going to linger on like a fart in an elevator as long as the disciples that she hired are allowed to keep their jobs and keep pushing the...
Yeah, I think that's also going to be, you know, a thing about that too is whatnot. Even though that she's gone, there's still going to be some cancer cells, unfortunately. I don't know how many treatments of leukemia therapy we're going to have to freaking go through before, you know, we can possibly get Star Wars back to where it used to be. But I gotta tell you, I don't think I'm gonna see it unless I'm probably in my 60s, and I'm 35. I'm 34 right now and whatnot. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. They could do it in less time and whatnot. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm on board with Critical Drinker here. I don't know where the hell we're gonna go from here and whatnot. I mean, I have an idea and whatnot, but I don't even want him to touch it. Okay. And if you know, and what I mean is that totally abandoning the current timeline and whatnot, and go 10,000 years back, right, to the era of Revan, you know, Revan Malik, Darth Vitiate, that era, you know, the Old Republic. I just feel like if they ever get on board with that, is that they're gonna fuck that one up too, and probably even worse than, you know, than what we currently have. And Old Republic is like fucking peak Star Wars, dude. It honestly is. The freaking shine out. It's like the freaking thing that. How do I? It's basically like, you know. Let me try this. Okay, it's like basically like the movie Hercules, where Hercules goes find Nefertiti's, Latitis. Oh, I forgot his. Go find Phil. To get trained up and whatnot, and then we finally see him finish his training. And then, you know, Hercules, like, you know, is the guy, the hero that he is now in the movie, right? In the movie Hercules and whatnot. Like it's kind of like the same thing right there and whatnot. Little Hercules is just like, you know, that's like, you know, current Star Wars and whatnot. But then, you know, fast forward to hero Hercules and whatnot after his training. That's Star Wars Old Republic peak era, freaking peak of what Star Wars can possibly be and whatnot, you know. Fucking stories left and right out the wazoo, and, you know, things that we never thought we'd see in Star Wars franchise or Star Wars franchises in here. What we have currently and whatnot. Like, have you guys seen, like, you know, the freaking the Old Republic trailers and whatnot for the fucking game and whatnot. Like, holy shit, dude! Like, how many are there right now? 6, I think, 5 or 6. They're like between 5-6 minutes long, I guess, and whatnot, so to speak. And they got fucking way more content than a fucking movie that's 2 hours long.
Same garbage into their work. If Disney actually want to change things and make a genuine effort to bring Star Wars back from the dead, there's gonna have to be the kind of wholesale purge at Lucasfilm that would make Joseph Stalin green with envy. And quite frankly, I don't
Yeah,
think
there you
they've
go.
got the balls to even attempt something like that.
Sorry you had to go, but let's face it, you are a fucking waste of skin.
Yeah.
Waste of skin, yeah.
Waste of skin. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Good video. Good video. Yeah. Well, guys, that is all I got for right now. But we'll see you in the next one. Okay, whenever that'll be. I would say I would have a schedule and whatnot, but since I'm currently working 2 jobs at the moment, is that it's gonna be, you know, on my time. You know, I'm sorry about that, but you know, if a new stream comes out, a new video comes out, you know, hit that notification bell button to know when that's a thing. Okay. So that way you'll be notified when I'm streaming and whatever. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. All right. See you in the next one. Later.